George, how are you?
Okay, cameras all good, yeah, at the back? Excellent. Rory, over to you, please.
Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Is this working, yeah? Alright, okay. First of all, Chris, just when you were out there in the middle this evening, how much have you missed Test cricket and how much does it mean to you to be back?
Yeah, I mean it's always amazing to put on the whites. It has been a little while in England since I did that. But yeah, I love Test cricket, and you know when you're out there in the heat of the battle and you know, you're taking wickets for England. It's an amazing feeling, and you know, Ashes cricket. We all know that it's the sort of series that it's been, and yeah, I've just thoroughly enjoyed this Test match so far. You know, both sides of it, batting and bowling.
So you knew this morning waking up that you needed wickets, and the skies were looking helpful, and you couldn't get out there. Was there much nervous tension going on in the dressing room, just desperate to get out there and get stuck in?
I mean, it was pretty relaxed actually in the dressing room. To be honest with you, we felt that if there was an opportunity which came in front of us, we'd like to obviously take that opportunity. Obviously, with the weather that was around, especially when it's going to be a long day of rain. You always feel that if you do get that window, it's not easy for a batting side. So we felt that if we got the opportunity, I suppose at the same time that also brings that little bit of pressure. You've got to put the ball in the right areas and make sure you make it talk, so to speak, with the conditions in your favour. And we all know that over the past 2 Test matches, little windows in Test matches can really make a huge difference, and we felt that was an opportunity for us to take. And we felt that we bowled pretty well, and I thought to bowl them out was a really good thing for us.
And this team have made a bit of a habit of being lively chasers in the last year. You were also here in the match in 2019. You getting those Headingley vibes?
I mean, hope so. It means we win the Test match, but it'd be nice to do it a little bit easier. But look, I think there's obviously a full day ahead of us tomorrow. We know what we've got to get. The lads went out there tonight in a tricky period and played really well. To get through that little period is never easy. So to chalk a few off is really nice, but also to finish the day none down is a real positive for us. But we know we've got to come and bat well. The scores in this game haven't been high, so we know that it's probably not going to be straightforward. But hopefully we can put some pressure on the Aussie bowlers, and we know it's a fast scoring ground. So hopefully that helps.
We'll go Vish, then Mel, then Matt, please.
Hi Chris, not just today, but I suppose in the first innings as well, it looked like you had that snap off the pitch, and the wickets today, bit of extra bounce to get rid of Marsh and Carey. It was maybe kind of reminiscent to how you bowled in the 2019 semi-final against Australia at Edgbaston. Do you feel that your skills are at that level where, I suppose, the pace as well was up as high as it's been?
Yeah, to be honest, I've come into the game with not a huge amount of red ball cricket behind me, so I played quite a lot in the early county season, and then since then there's been quite a lot of T20. So I've been doing my stuff in training, but nothing's quite like what you get out of the middle, and that sort of playing a Test match is completely different. So I've been really pleased with how it's come out this game. But I feel like particularly coming up the hill, having to bowl quite a few overs from that end, it's not actually an end which I particularly like here. Having bowled quite a bit here for Warwickshire in England in the past, I'd much prefer to come down the hill. But I found a bit of a rhythm from that end, and thankfully, like you said, I feel actually bowling from that end actually makes you snap into the wicket a little bit harder. Whereas coming down the hill, you can kind of just go with it a little bit. So that may have helped and made me snap into a bit of rhythm, but certainly felt there's been a few spells where I felt almost as in control sort of thing, putting the ball where I want it and making it move, which is a nice place to be.
Do you feel that this selection in this Test was a big show of faith in your ability? Because you're coming in with England 2-0 down, and if you look throughout your career, I think it's 45 Tests, but you've only ever played 9 in a row. So then to get this, I suppose, Mayday call must have been, I suppose, also a huge boost, but also, right, I've got, do my duty, I suppose. Yeah,
definitely. I think, there's two things with that, isn't it? It's good to have the backing and feel backed by the captain and the coach. But then also, I suppose, feeling that little bit of pressure that you're in a must-win Ashes game and not much cricket behind me and having to come in and perform. But I think when you get early wickets, which I did, I got that wicket of Marnus, it kind of does settle the nerves a little bit, and then kind of went from there. So it was nice to get an early wicket and set myself down. But like you say, it does feel good to have that backing from the coach and the captain and selectors to be given the nod for this game, definitely.
We'll go Mel, Matt Henry, and then we'll do David. Sorry.
Chris, I'm sure you'd take a win any way that it comes, but is there a sense amongst the rest of the team, looking at how Ben has batted in the last couple of innings and what he's done before, of wanting to not rely on him in a fourth innings in a must-win situation like this?
I don't think we kind of look at it that way, but I think naturally, we don't want to be relying on Ben all the time. Of course we don't. We want to be putting in performances all the way down the batting lineup. I think at certain points in series, you're always going to rely on certain people to put their hands up. Particularly I suppose in a run chase, you want your top six probably to get a score, or one of those guys to get a score and do the bulk of the work. We can't rely on Ben to do what he did at Lords every single game, because although we do realise he is superhuman, he can't do it every time. We can't rely on him to do that every time. But we obviously realise he's a world-class player and he does put teams under pressure. But at the same time, we know across the board from 1 to 11, we all need to put a good shift in and try and get us over the line.
Chris, I'm hoping you're not going to be batting number 11 tomorrow, but if you are in a situation like Leachy was alongside Ben or whoever, how do you think you'll deal with that pressure, and are you ready to get England over the line in a similar fashion?
If I'm batting 11, I'll get one out and let Stokes do the rest. You don't think like that, do you? I think you just kind of turn up tomorrow, have a hit in the nets, and if you're called upon, you get yourself in the position, in the mindset to try and win a game for England. I think obviously the excitement and a chance of winning a test match in an Ashes series is fantastic, but we also realise we're still 220 odd runs away from that, so there's some hard work to be put in. But I'm sure Australia will be kind of thinking they're 10 wickets away from winning an Ashes series in England as well, so it's an exciting day for both teams.
You chased scores bigger than this 4 times last summer, so how much confidence does that give the team?
Yeah, I think naturally we know we can chase scores as a team. It certainly suits us, which is obviously a good thing. But I think I said earlier, obviously the scores haven't been overly high in this game, so you don't just walk into it thinking it's going to be a doddle. It's going to be, we're going to have to play well. Probably, as I said, one of the top 6 probably going to have to get a good score and hopefully do the bulk of the work. But we've all got a job to do 1 to 11.
George, John, I'll finish with Mike.
You mentioned that Marnus wicket. I thought the celebrations were more than normal from you, and I just wondered whether that was a sign of maybe nerves coming back into the side, or maybe even you thought these moments had gone?
It's hard to probably sum it up really. It's just emotion, isn't it? The emotion of a test match, having been, an Ashes test match, being on the sidelines, watching for the last, few weeks. And then, as I said, getting the call, I suppose it shows that backing from the coach and the captain, and kind of, I suppose, a little bit of relief that you've been able to, obviously get a big scalp like Marnus and kind of put your faith in the decision to play. Also the gap in the fact they haven't played in front of a crowd in England for a couple of years. You realise when you hear that roar, it kind of brings out that emotion in you, which I suppose, easy to kind of forget how good it is when you haven't played for a while. So just probably a combination of those things. But a world-class player like Marnus, it's always nice to get him out.
John Etheridge, and we'll finish with Matt Wallace.
It goes without saying, tomorrow's a huge day. You lose, the Ashes have gone, you win the series, back in it. Does that kind of fill you with excitement or nerves? What are your emotions?
No, I think it's more excitement than nerves. I think naturally, when you're in a run chase, there's always going to be nerves around, but I think there's certainly good nerves at the thought of winning a test match and chasing down a score and keeping yourselves in the series. And I think this team, having been around it for a little while. Obviously, it's the first kind of game I've been a part of. But certainly, having been around it, you feel that it's always the chance to win a game, which fills this team with excitement, and always looking to win not just test matches, but moments within a test match, and always trying to put your foot forward and the positive foot forward. So, more excitement than anything else.
On the subject of targets, only 5 teams have scored more than 250 to win a test here. Does the fact that England did it 350 odd 4 years ago fill you more with anticipation than trepidation?
I think I just said there. I think this team is always looking to put the aggressor and be the aggressor and put the foot forward and try and look how to win test matches. And I think Ben's obviously spoke. He's not interested in draws, and I think that's the way the team wants to play. Is be exciting, be entertaining, and the opportunity to be a team that's not done what we've got the opportunity to do tomorrow in the past, then it fills the team with excitement and hopefully the opportunity to do something special.
Thank you. Cheers, Woakes.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.